Today I'll be demonstrating how to perform a sterile dressing change. The first thing I would do is check the physician's orders to make sure it's the right procedure on the right patient, and then I would gather all my supplies and enter the patient's room. I'll make sure I provide for privacy, and I will wash my hands. I'm going to identify the patient, make sure it's the right person, and then I'll identify myself and explain the procedure. After that, I would assess for their pain level, and if it's very high and they need pain medication, I would go ahead and administer that, and then come back in 30 to 45 minutes. If they do not need pain medication, I'm going to go ahead and raise the bed rail to a good working height, or raise the bed. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my biohazard bag. And I'm going to put on clean gloves. After that, I'm going to go ahead and expose the wound. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the old dressing.
Today I'm going to be inserting a catheter, and before I enter the patient's room, I'm going to review the order
With one swipe. And before I discard it, I'm going to assess the dressing for the amount, type, color, and odor of any drainage. And I will make note of that. And then I will discard that in the biohazard bag and go ahead and take off my gloves right away. And I'm going to perform hand hygiene.
After this, I'm going to provide privacy.
Then I'll put on clean gloves.
Explain the procedure I'm about to do. After this, I'll make sure I have good lighting in the room, and I have a trash can here.
And I'm going to measure the wound.
The patient at the level where I am able to work at. Next, as my patient should be in a dorsal recumbent.
And I'm going to measure the wound.
I'm going to try to provide as much pressure.
First, start with the length.
And tell them to
And I'll make sure that I'm not touching the wound.
Next, I'm going to put on some gloves.
It is approximately 13 centimeters. And then I'm going to measure the width. And it is 2.5 centimeters. And then I'm going to measure the depth of the wound, making sure not to touch the wound bed.
With a wash rag
And that is 2 centimeters. At this point, I would also check for any tunneling or undermining. And I would make note of my assessment, and I'm going to discard that and remove my gloves.
and then start my sterile area.
And then I'm going to perform hand hygiene. I'm now ready to set up my sterile field.
I will open up my packet.
So I'll go ahead and open this.
I will put this
Now we'll go ahead and pour
pad underneath them.
saline to moisten my gauze. And I would make sure that the saline was not expired.
I will put on my gloves.
I'm going to open my gauze. Now I'm ready to put on my sterile gloves.
Now, with my non-dominant hand, I would open up
And touching only the inside of the
I
glove.
would find a urinary meter. I would grab one of the cotton balls,
And then I'll tuck my fingers into the
throw it away,
inside of the cup.
clean the other side, and I would be cleaning from top to bottom. Then the middle.
And I'm going to go ahead and discard that.
Next, I would grab my catheter.
So now I'm ready to clean the wound. And I'm going to take a moist gauze. And I'm going to clean from top to bottom.
I'll put some lubricant. I would take
Using one stroke, and then I will discard that. Then
grab from 2 to 3 inches.
I will get another moist one.
Take
And I'll
deep
clean the
breaths,
other side
breath in and out.
from top to bottom.
I take deep
I will throw that away.
Take deep breaths.
And then I'm going to take
And I would
a dry gauze
until I see urine flowing out. After I see
and
urine flowing out,
I will dry the area
then I would grab with my non-dominant
using just one stroke. Toss that.
insert.
And then I will take another dry gauze and clean the other side using one stroke. And I will throw that away.
Next, I would
And I will clean it until there was no crustiness or drainage around the wound.
turn.
After that,
Grab everything.
I will go ahead and
Throw it away.
take a moist gauze
Get rid of all my supplies.
and I will squeeze out any excess water from it
Make sure, if needed. Next,
to make sure that it would be moist but not wet. And then I'm going to take a
put on the new glove.
sterile cotton swab
And
and I'm going to pack the wound
a spot with my droplet.
using my cotton swab,
Catheter onto the inner
and I would go from top to bottom,
or a tape
and I would pack it but not tightly.
below the bladder level onto the bedroll.
After that, I'm going to discard that.
Won't bother it.
And then I'm going to go ahead and take my dry gauze
I would cover my patient back up.
and cover the wound.
Pain or any problem. Make sure they're comfortable. I would give them their call bell.
After that, I would take my ABD pad and I would place that on top of the dry gauze.
Wash my hands and document what I did.
After that, I'm going to go ahead and remove my sterile gloves. I'm going to perform hand hygiene. And then I'm going to tape down the dressing. And I'm going to go ahead and initial the dressing and put the date and time. After that, I'm just going to cover the patient back up. And I'm going to clean up my area. And remove my biohazard bag. I would assess to see how painful the procedure was for the patient, and then I'm going to lower the bed. and make sure there's a call light within reach. And then I would wash my hands and document the procedure.